Have you ever walked deep into the jungle, far away from the trail, and found a pond that has been cut off from the stream? At first glance, it is beautiful. The surface is like a sheet of dark glass. It is perfectly still. It reflects the trees above it without a single distortion. It looks peaceful. It looks safe. There are no rapids here. There are no crashing waves to pull you under. There is no chaotic current to fight against. It is silence. But if you kneel down and look closer, the illusion breaks. You see the truth of stillness. Because the water does not move, it has no oxygen. And because it has no oxygen, it is slowly dying. The mud at the bottom is black and foul. The algae blooms in thick, suffocating mats. The fish that once lived here are gone, replaced by insects and parasites that thrive in the rot. It is calm, yes, but it is toxic. Now compare this to the river that feeds the valley. The river is violent. It crashes against the granite rocks. It falls over cliffs in a thunder of white foam. It is chaotic. It is loud. It is dangerous. But because of this violence, because of this constant movement and aeration, the water is alive. It is cold and fresh. It supports the trout and the otter. It cleans itself every single second. I want you to hold these two images in your mind, the rotting pond and the crashing river. Because for the last 40 years, most of us have been trying to turn our lives into that pond. In my 36 years in the corporate world, I saw this obsession every single day. We are terrified of the current. We crave stability above all else. We want the steady paycheck that hits the bank on the 30th. We want the guaranteed pension plan. We want the job title that stays the same for a decade. We spend our entire youth building a massive dam around our lives to keep the chaos out. We think we are building safety. We think we are being responsible. But nature teaches us a harsh lesson that we ignore at our peril. Stability is not the same thing as survival. When you remove all rest from your life, you remove the movement. And when you remove the movement, you begin to stagnate. You stop learning because you don't have to. Your skills atrophy because they are never tested. You become soft. You become terrified of the slightest change in the economy. You are sitting in that calm, still water, feeling safe. Meanwhile, beneath the surface, your ability to survive in the real world is slowly rotting away. And you feel it, don't you? That low-level hum of anxiety in the back of your head. The fear that if your company restructures, you are finished. The fear that if the dam cracks, you will not know how to swim. We have traded the vitality of the river for the safety of the continent. We have chosen the rot because we are afraid of the rapids. But the river is flowing whether you step into it or not. The economy is moving. Technology is crashing against the rocks. Staying in the pond does not protect you from the drought. It just guarantees that when the water dries up, you will have nowhere left to go. Why do we do this? Why do we choose the slow death of comfort over the vitality of risk? To understand this madness, we must travel back 1,000 years. We must go to the golden age of Islam, to the mind of the man known in the West as Avicenna and in the East as Ibn Sina. Ibn Sina was not just a philosopher, he was a physician. He spent his life mapping the connection between the soul and the body. He identified a specific faculty of the human animal. He called it Wahm. In English, scholars translate Wahm as estimation. But this word is too cold. It does not capture the power of what Ibn Sina saw. Wahm is your internal risk calculator. It is the instinct that tells a lamb to run when it sees a wolf, even if it has never seen a wolf before. It is a survival mechanism. But Ibn Sina taught us that this faculty, like any organ, can become diseased. It can malfunction. It can hallucinate. He famously described a thought experiment to explain this. Imagine a wooden plank lying on the ground. It is narrow, perhaps the width of your foot. You can walk across it easily. You can dance on it. You have perfect balance. The physical task is simple. Now imagine that same plank is suspended across a ravine, 1,000 feet in the air. The wood is the same. Your muscles are the same. The laws of physics have not changed. But you cannot walk. You freeze. You tremble. You fall. Why? Ibn Sina tells us it is the Wahm. Your estimation of danger has overwhelmed your faculty of reason. Your mind has created a catastrophe that has not happened yet, and your body reacts to the hallucination. This is exactly what is happening to your career today. The corporate world, the education system, and our well-meaning parents have overstimulated our Wahm. They have taught us that the river, entrepreneurship, investing, changing careers, taking a sabbatical, is a ravine. They have convinced us that stepping off the plank of a salary is a death sentence. We look at the volatility of the freelance market or the stock market, and our Wahm screams, danger. It sees a wolf where there is only a dog. So we retreat. We run back to the pond. We stay in jobs we hate. We work for bosses we do not respect. We accept a salary that barely covers inflation. Why? Because the Wahm tells us that the known misery is safer than the unknown possibility. Ibn Sina would tell us that we are suffering from a delusion of the soul. We are overestimating the danger of the outside world, and we are tragically underestimating the danger of staying still. We are like the man frozen on the plank, terrified of falling, while the building we are standing on is slowly burning down. We think we are being prudent, but in reality we are just paralyzed by a ghost. The Wahm was designed to save us from lions, not to save us from public speaking or a bad quarter. We have let a biological glitch dictate the architecture of our lives. We have built a prison and called it a sanctuary. So, how do we cure this disease of the Wahm? How do we break the dam and let the river flow again? We turn to a modern thinker who carries the spirit of the ancients, a man who understands risk better than any banker on Wall Street, Nassim Taleb. Taleb gives us the mathematical proof for what Ibn Sina felt intuitively. He calls it antifragility. He argues that the world is divided into three categories. First, there are fragile legs, like a porcelain teacup. If you drop it, it breaks. It hates stress. It wants to be in the pond, perfectly still. Second, there are robust things, like a rock. If you drop it, it stays the same. It survives the stress, but it doesn't get better. But then there is a third category, the antifragile. These are things that actually get stronger when you stress them. Your immune system is antifragile. It needs germs to learn. Your muscles are antifragile. They need the trauma of heavy weights to work. Taleb proves that in trying to be safe, we are actually making ourselves fragile. By suppressing all volatility, by avoiding all small mistakes, we guarantee that when the mental crash finally comes, fight the south. Here is your protocol to the pump. Here is how you become anti-fragile in the economy of 2026. Step 1. The barbell strategy. Stop trying to be moderately safe. That is the kill zone. Taleb suggests a radical balance, but keep 90% of your assets in something incredibly boring and sane. Cash, gold, a paid-off house. This is your shield. Then take huge, aggressive risks with the remaining 10%. Start a business. Invest in a volatile startup. Do not put your whole life in the medium risk of a single corporate job that can fire you tomorrow. That is not safety. That is delayed fragility. Step 2. Inject small stressors. Do not wait for a crisis to test your scouts. You must create your own small fires. If you have a secure job, interview for other jobs every 6 months. Even if you don't intend to leave, pitch a freelance project to a stranger. Try to sell something. You need to remind your brain that rejection will not kill you. You need to desensitize your Wahm. You need the turbulence of the river to wash away the fear. You need to prove to yourself that you can swim in chummy pond. Step 3. Optimize for optionality, not efficiency. Efficiency is the pond. It is doing one thing perfectly, but nature hates efficiency. Nature loves redundancy. Optionality is the river. It is having many paths around the road. Learn skills that don't fit your job type. If you are an accountant, learn to edit media. If you are a writer, learn to code. The pond is efficient till it dries up. A river always finds a new way. We must stop praying for calm waters. Calm waters are where the rot happens. We must learn to love the rapids. We must train our Wahm to see the rocks not as dangers, but as the very things that keep the water fresh. Be the river, always moving, always cleaning, always alive. Love.